Hey everyone, how's it going? Koala Superhero here with another Overwatch video. With the recent buffs to Orisa and the gradual return of shields in team compositions, I wanted to share some top tips for Orisa to show how much of a badass she can really be. Before we get started though, if you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please give it a thumbs up and think to subscribe. Tip number 1 is play around your barrier. Orisa's barrier is a huge asset to her, and not just to stand behind. When you're playing Orisa, try to hug your barrier as much as possible, play around it, play in front, behind it, don't just protect yourself from one side. Don't make the mistake of using it from one side because you'll only be using it to half of its potential. Unlike Reinhardt, you have the luxury of being able to put your barrier down and walk around it and do things with it. He has to stick behind it and he can't choose to use it from the other side. You can, so make the most of this. Tip number 2 is shoot first, ask questions later. Orisa's weapon shoots projectiles, and as with any projectile weapon you need to anticipate enemy movement when using it. So a good habit to take is that when you use your hold ability, anticipate where your enemy is going to land, anticipate where you should shoot, and by preemptively landing your shots you'll do more damage.
Like sitting ducks.
This means that you'll be trying to shoot him with effectively more bullets, and you'll be trying to make more of them count. This might be even before you see your enemy if he's hiding behind a wall for example. On a side note, Orisa has an amazing sustain with her weapon, which allows you to control some areas and make some areas very off-putting for your enemies. For example, if you shoot the 150 bullets of your fusion driver into a corridor, your enemies will think twice before engaging in that corridor and possibly look for another route, thus giving you more control over the battlefield. Tip number 3 is that Orisa is excellent at breaking shields. Since we're seeing more and more shields in team compositions, knowing how to break those shields is going to be an important part of choosing who to play. Orisa, similarly to Bastion actually, is very good at sustaining fire on a shield and breaking it relatively quickly. Your weapon is quite accurate, and given that shields are usually big targets, Orisa has a really easy time taking them down. So when faced with a Reinhardt or another Orisa, do consider Orisa to be that shield breaker for you. Tip number 4 is adapt your line of attack or defense. Your barrier is on a short enough cooldown that you can afford to renew it even if it's not depleted. Like Reinhardt for example, will recharge his barrier in between fights. So whether you're attacking or defending, use your barrier to gain on the enemy to gain some ground. Move forward with it or back if needed, reposition it as often as you can and as often as you need. You are the one who will determine the front line of the battle. Always push that line to where it needs to be to gain terrain on your enemy. The 5th and final tip of this video is to try and extend your shield whenever you can. Wherever possible, try and place your shield somewhere where you can extend it artificially with the environment. For example, put it next to a wall, put it next to a pillar, put it somewhere where you could imagine hiding behind if your shield got broken and still was on cooldown. This can work very well in defense when you're trying to hold a point to give yourself that extra cover, but it also works equally well in attack where you can use the payload as this artificial extension of your shield. Orisa has the luxury of having a versatile shield, so when using it you can be as creative and imaginative as you want to be. All in all, Orisa is a brilliant character and can be really fun to play and very effective in the right hands. With the recent comeback of shields into compositions, especially in competitive, she could be an interesting tank to pick up and master to help you climb the ranks. Before I wrap up this video, I did want to say thank you so much for your support so far on this channel. It might not seem like much, but everybody who's subscribed, who's commented, who's liked a video, that just really means so much and encourages me to continue making videos every week. I'm extremely glad that you enjoy the videos that I make and truly hope that you continue to enjoy them. With that said, that sums up this video, so thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time.